Namaste. Welcome to this series on foundational concepts of Sanatana Dharma. Today we are going to look at the Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. We often get confused between the two. So let us look at what each one is. The indriya means it is the faculty or the senses. And they do not actually mean the organ because the organ is the adhisthana or the seat of that sense. So when we say the faculty of seeing, the organ of seeing is the eye. There is also a faculty of seeing which enables the eye to see, right? So that is the subtle difference that we have to make. So the Karmendriya are 5 in number, which include the Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu and Upastha. Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu and Upastha. Vak is the faculty of speech, what enables the mouth or the vocal cords to produce that sound. Pani is the function of or the faculty of grasping, what enables the hand to grasp something, to hold something, to write something. That senses is called the Pani. Pada is the faculty of walking or locomotion. So what enables the lower part of the body, the limbs, the legs to move? We take a few steps, we are able to run. What helps us to move is that particular faculty. So it is Pada. Payu is basically excretion. So whatever the food that we eat is converted into energy. It circulates throughout the body, but also some waste is produced. So there needs to be a specific function in the body in order to eliminate that waste. So that is Payu. And Upastha is procreation or reproduction. So each of these faculties of action have a corresponding organ. And in fact, if you look at the Tattva Bodha, it also clearly maps each of these Karmendriya to various devatas. Because none of the things in the universe works in isolation. There is always a governing intelligence that helps it to function. Right? Even in our own personal lives, we have seen many things that we take for granted as it is always governed by a higher intelligence. What we assume as random is not so random after all. So the Karmendriya include Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu and Upastha. So these are the 5 faculties of action which enable us to act out in the world. But how do we make sense of the reality? How do we actually learn something? How do we grasp something through our mind? That is through the 5 faculties of perception or the Jnanendriya. The Jnanendriya include Shrotra, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana and Grana. Shrotra is the faculty of hearing, which is the auditory senses. Tvak is the tactile senses through which you feel something on the skin. The Chakshu is the visual senses because of which you are able to see through your eyes. You see an object through your eyes and the light of the object falls inside your eye and some processing is happening. So the eye is basically the organ of viewing and you have the visual senses as well. And rasana is the gustatory senses or the taste. How do you perceive taste with your tongue? It is because of this particular indriya, Jnanendriya. And grana is in terms of smelling, right? The olfactory senses. How are you able to process smell through your nose? That is because of this particular Jnanendriya. And each of the Jnanendriya have a corresponding organ to it. So whenever we make sense of our reality, we grasp through our senses. We see an image through our eyes. Suppose we see an animal running towards us. We perceive it through our eyes and then the brain processes it and immediately we have to act out. Either we fight the animal or run away from the animal. So the Jnanendriya and Karmendriya have to come together in order to function in this reality. And we already saw Karmendriya is to do with, or the Pranamaya Kosha is to do with the Prana and the Karmendriya. The Prana enables the Karmendriya to function. The mind and the Jnanendriya form the Manomaya Kosha. The Buddhi and the Jnanendriya form the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, in this session, we have looked at Karmendriya and Jnanendriya, 5 faculties of action and 5 faculties of perception. Namaste.